Hi everybody, this is Alice, Bejeweled Hedgehog, back for another vlog. I had said yesterday that I am going to vlog no matter what for the next 30 days. That doesn't mean I'm ending after 30 days. That just means that for the next 30 days, while I really work to get myself over the hump with this depression, I'm going to go ahead and record it and make a record of it and interact with people and talk to people while it's going on. So anyway, yeah, I am very tired tonight, but that's okay. I will still do my vlog. Let's see. Oh, some cool stuff to show you. I have to show you this absolutely beautiful, stunning, amazing ring. It is a bead. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see the holes are on the sides, so the wire is going through there, and then you can see the back of it. Very pretty wrapping, and the bead is really pretty. The bead is from my gigantic collection of jewelry making supplies, and my oldest niece Marnina, when she has the time, likes to play around with making wire jewelry. So she went through my craft drawers and found some beads. This was one of them. So she made this beautiful, beautiful ring for me, and I am so pleased. So much talent. And yeah, I am calling her Marnina now and not Beanie, because Marnina is her actual name, and at 15 Beanie is just, not acceptable. She tolerates it. She tolerates with amazingly good spirits a great deal of things, from her parents and I. But, she really wants to be Marnina. It's more mature. So that is what she is from now on. Duck and cat, they're younger, they're stuck. They're going to be duck and cat for quite a long time. But anyway, so yeah, and her name is interesting. A lot of people get it confused and, think that they're mishearing me, and then it's Marina. Because Marina, I think, is a more well-known name. Actually, Marnina is a Hebrew name, and I believe it means joy, or, God is my joy, or something to that effect. And she was basically named after a grandmother whose name was Felicia. So that's how the, Felicia means joy or happiness. So there you go. So anyhow, let's see. I have decided to, rather than focus on all the negativity, to focus on things which, I tend to overlook, I think, a lot of things and just pass things off that I do as trivial. And I have decided to, if I do it, to count it as something good and be pleased with it. So for instance, last night, and this may sound silly, but after I cleaned up the dishes, I did the normal thing, wipe down the countertops and wipe off the top of the stove. And then I decided, well, the kitchen hasn't had a really thorough cleaning in a while. And no, I'm not going to do the floors or anything like that, but I went ahead and lifted up the top of the stove and wiped down underneath and wiped off the front of the oven and the hood thingy, exhaust hood thingy. And then I went around and wiped down all the stuff that I have sitting on my counters, and picked them up and wiped underneath and blah, blah, blah. And then the thing I'm really proud of is, dun, 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 dun. I know. What is this and why am I proud of it? This is a little lotion dispenser for hand lotion. And I like to keep lotion in the kitchen, because when I'm done doing the dishes, I usually do them by hand, since, if it's only me, it takes like 2 weeks to fill the dishwasher. So anyway, yeah, so when I'm done the dishes, I like to put lotion on. Drawback, after this gets almost all the way empty and there's no more stuff coming out of the pump, what you're supposed to do is wash it out and put more lotion in, right? But that's not critical. I mean, you need to wash your dishes, otherwise you can't eat. But you know what? You can keep this pretty thing on the counter and then just stick a regular bottle of lotion down beside it, which is what I so frequently do. And last night I just looked at it and said, you know what, why not fill her up? So I rinsed her out really well and soaked her and, got all the old dried out lotion out of the little pump thingy. Set her out to dry, and then this evening, when I was done in the kitchen, I filled her up, so now she is good to go. It's one of those little tasks that it feels so good to have done, but since it's not critical, you can eat and make tea and get through your whole life without actually doing it, I always tend to put it off. But I did not. So here you go. After several months of just sitting there as an ornament, she is now functional again. I think she's absolutely adorable. My sister, who just, as she drives down the street, she will just for fun pull over and go into a store. She is the most shoppingest shopper I've ever met. Found this at Tuesday morning. Oh, and there's her back. See, her back is all dressed up too. She's a all-around lady. So anyway, there's my kitchen lady. I am proud of myself. Small things, small, trivial things count. So let's see. What about my day? I had some very good things happen today. I went out to lunch with my very best friend, Jermaine, and we met up for lunch at P.F. Chang's. P.F. Chang's is my favorite restaurant. Normally I don't like Chinese food because, for one thing, a lot of it is loaded with MSG, and MSG makes me feel like crap. And also, people say it's healthy, but I never really liked it. If you order something lemon chicken, it sounds so fresh and lovely, doesn't it? And then you get these little nuggets of chicken covered in these thick, heavy, fried, doughy balls with all this thick, heavy, icky sauce on it. I don't particularly like it. I really don't like the fact that when they use meat, they always have to cover it in that fried, doughy stuff. And then, they have so much thick sauce on everything, and it just, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of it. But P.F. Chang's is different. P.F. Chang's is a completely different spin on everything. All the food is much lighter. There is no MSG. If you have food allergies, you can tell them, and depending on the severity, they will even cook your food in a, they'll have like special pans. If you have nut allergies, they'll make sure that your stir fry is done in a stir fry that didn't ever have any cashews or peanuts put in it. So anyhow, they're just amazing. And the wait staff is so attentive and so friendly, not to mention the food. If anyone ever goes there, the lettuce wrap appetizer is to die for. They're the nicely curved iceberg lettuce leaves. Then they have this marvelous chicken meat mixture on top of little crispy, crunchy rice noodles. And you put all that in the leaf and you wrap it up and you eat it. And another really outstanding appetizer are their dumplings. They're chicken lemongrass dumplings. You can get just like the steamed dumplings, the traditional steamed dumplings, but these are the chicken and the lemongrass instead of what I believe is probably pork and ginger. And while I do like the ginger in the typical steamed dumpling, the chicken lemongrass is just a really, really cool difference. And last time I was there, I had Norwegian salmon in some kind of sauce, and it was laid out on asparagus. And they have all different kinds of things. They have a really great lunch menu. And then this time I got, it's called Shanghai street noodles, and it's rice noodles in a curry sauce, and then they have pieces of chicken, shrimp, the curry sauce, but it's light, it's not heavy, it doesn't drown everything. Then they have veggies in there, like tomatoes and all sorts of different veggies tossed in with it, which makes it taste really, really fresh and really, really good. And then they put bacon over the top, unless you ask them not to. Instead of bacon bits, this really is chopped up actual bacon pieces. So anyhow, it's lovely. And there was a mango tea. Ah. And then I did a bad thing. I did a really bad thing. They have this dessert called the Great Wall of Chocolate. It is indescribably good chocolate. And no, they give you a huge piece, enough for two. And Jermaine, who has more common sense than me, never touches it. So I usually only eat about half of it, of the chocolate cake. The problem is, though, that I really am sensitive to eggs and dairy, but especially to eggs. And of course, after lunch, sitting upright in a standard chair, for some reason, whenever I eat eggs, I swell. I mean, I really swell. I have hands like sausages. My ankles will swell up so much you don't see the difference really. Normally you have like an indentation for an ankle, and for me it's like it swells to the point where it's like a giant calf that just ends in a foot. So, and it feels icky and awkward to be so bloated. And yeah, it'll start causing, by tomorrow, I will feel some joint inflammation. And I don't know why I do it. I have really coming to the conclusion that I am addicted to sweets. Because, it's not normal. I don't really have, do I mind the eggs bother me? Do I mind turning down scrambled eggs? No. Now I do miss, and I do like, huevos rancheros, the Mexican eggs that are on the beans, and then they have the salsa and all that stuff. That's really good. But it's not good enough to make me swell. So I can exercise common sense, but when it comes to sweets, every so often I just get this craving. I think it must be like what, crack addicts feel. It's like, I will have chocolate cake, or I will have a cinnamon bun, and you do not want to stand between me and the sweet I have in my sights. But anyhow, I don't know. I mean, can somebody who's addicted to sweets, go to one of these groups for addicts and say... Because, Jermaine was pointing out to me that was the strangest thing he had ever seen. Somebody who really, it's not like it's a food allergy I don't know about. I know about this food allergy. I normally, as a rule, I don't do the baked goods things. But every so often I just get this craving, and it just goes in, and he's looking at me like, so you're going to go back this afternoon, and you're going to sit around, and you're going to feel like crap. I'm like, well, maybe, yeah, but the cake outweighs the crap. If I don't eat the whole thing, I won't feel that bad. All right, well, anyway. I have to get a grip on that. I really do. Yeah. And I have tried the idea of substitutes, and yes, I dearly love tea. But even the nice cup of tea, the nicest tea ever, is not a thick, multi-layered chocolate cake, and they put little chocolate, what do you call those things? I used to call them bits. Like chips, that's it. They put little chocolate chips in the icing. Hee hee hee. Okay, so much for that. But anyway, yeah, so that was very good. I mean, yes, there was the little deviation of the Great Wall of Chocolate. And yep, my legs are swollen. Oh, they look, you know what a good way to describe them? They look like elephant legs. There you go. But that's okay. Laying in bed for 8 hours, it'll more or less go away. Plus, I've been drinking tons of water, so solved that one. Yeah, Jermaine is one of the few people in my day-to-day life that I am really 100% honest with. We've been friends for nearly 15 years, and he knows all about the depression, all about the anxiety, and the general craziness. And so I feel completely comfortable. I feel as comfortable talking to him as I do here on YouTube. And he gave me some interesting advice. He said that he has noticed that if we both were to have the exact same day, you know, like some scientific experiment planned for us to have the same experiences, which contained a mix of both good and bad, he thinks that at the end of the day, I would be traumatized by the bad, where he would be focusing on the good. And he kind of had a point. I want to be optimistic, and I love happiness, but I have sort of a built-in pessimism that comes out sort of out of my control. And a number of people comment to me that they suffer from depression too. And I think I just have this built-in outlook that I'm not really aware of unless I consciously watch myself, which tends to be very pessimistic, and I react badly to the bad things. I react badly enough to the bad things. I get scared, I get sad, I get sick, I get very, very upset, to the point where it's disproportionate and it really does color the good things. And I mean, that was a great point, but now I'm stuck with, okay, let's just saw open the tops of our skulls, lift them off, set them on the table, and switch brains, and then I'm fine, and you're screwed. So, I'm going to work on trying to reprogram myself. I've decided, if I make a goal of writing it down and then I fail to write it down, I'll get mad at myself. So my deal to myself for these next 30 days is every night, when I lay down in bed and turn out the light, getting ready for sleep, I'll start with 2. And maybe by the end of next week, I will set a goal of 5. I will just either find at least 2 things that have gone well with the day, that I enjoyed, even if it's a day where I parked, I got a ticket for parking at a meter that has expired, or, all these little annoying things that just build up. I'm going to make sure that I acknowledge and appreciate 2 good things. And I want to keep adding to it. By this time next week, I want to be acknowledging and appreciating 5 good things. And then, once the bad thing happens, if a plan has to be made to deal with it, I will make that plan, and then I will simply not dwell on it. That's not as easy as it sounds. Trust me. But I will keep you posted on how my little experiment goes. Because, when they say, fight your way out of depression or change your way of thinking, okay, how exactly do you change your way of thinking? So that's my experiment, and hopefully this will be helpful to somebody else. Now, off that old and tired subject, I got yarn in the mail today. All right. I am a big fan of Knit Picks. Knit Picks is reasonably priced, and it's beautiful yarn, and I really love it. And because I buy from them, I get emails when they have a new yarn or introduce new colors. So big bag of one of my favorite yarns of all time, Palette. I am hugging the yarn. Ooh. I'm going to sniff the yarn. Smell more of the plastic. You have to do this. That is the cure for depression. I'm going to stick a little thing of yarn down in my purse. Anytime I'm having a bad moment during the day, out it will come. Wool smells good. But anyway, so these are some examples of their new colors. And I'm going to also show them, I think, if I manage to do a video during the day tomorrow. This looks like a beige or a tan. It is really not. It is a beautiful color called tea rose. And it reminds me very much of an old-fashioned color. It's much pinker without being a bright pink. It really reminds me of a Victorian color. And to go with it, they also have a new color that is called, here it is, Victorian. And this is like a darker rose red. Again, it's much darker. The further back I go, the better the coloring gets. So yeah, this is the Victorian and this is a tea rose, and I want to make a scarf next week where I'm going to hold these two strands together, and I am not 100% sure whose idea this was. I think it might have been Charmaine's idea. Hey Charmaine, or maybe Sissy Knitting. I know that Poet Spice's challenge or idea for the week was to make something, like from your head to your toe, H to N or something, but anyhow. Yeah, so this is going to kind of, it's going to be a scarf, and it's going to be two strands of yarn held together. And please correct me if I'm completely confused about where these ideas are coming from. Maybe I dreamed them. But anyway, two new colors. Okay. This one wasn't really bought to match anything, and this, ooh, it's coming up pretty well. It's called Lingonberry. I have no idea what a lingon, Lingonberry, Lingonberry heather, and it is a gorgeous heathered color. I love the heathering effect, and I really mostly only ever see it in wool, and it is so beautiful and soft. Okay, these two I tend to think of as going together. This one is called Comfrey, and it's like a very dusty purple. It kind of seems like they got a little bit of a Victorian theme going, because I could see this as being sort of a Victorian purple. Now, it's a much more reddish purple than it's showing up in on the camera. And then this one is called Ice Lily. So it's a grayish, pinky purple. And I like these two together, but the thing that I really like with them is this one, which is a very dark blue-green called Shoal. And oddly enough, I just love the way this combination looks. Kind of like it in this order a little bit. And I think I'm going to do a ripple shawl, a ripple scarf. Combining stripes of these three colors. Just a thought. By the time I get around to doing it, it may have changed. And then last, but absolutely not least, is Shire Heather. And nope, camera's just not doing it. It's a beautiful kind of dusty, foresty green, but some of the little strands are sort of bluish, and then it looks like there's some olive and some brown mixed in. Anyway, these are absolutely gorgeous. The balls, and I got two of the Shire color. The balls are $3.39 each, and it's a little confusing because normally the non-heathered balls are $3.39 and the heathered balls are $3.59, but maybe because these are all new colors, I'm not really sure, but all of these balls were $3.39 each. And it is fingering weight, by the way, and it gives you 231 yards, so that's a pretty reasonable price. And this is actually pretty much comparable with a ball of Lily Sugar and Cream, I think. Hand wash and dry flat, because it is wool. And I don't know if I held one up to my finger, just in case you're not familiar with exactly how fine fingering is. This is fingering weight. So anyhow, so that is my yarn haul, and those are some of my projects. And I will put a link down below. I meant to play a song during this video. There's a song I really love, and I want to say thank you to one of my viewers and friend and fellow YouTuber, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. At one point when I went onto Facebook, she mentioned something about some music she was listening to. And I love music, so whenever I hear that somebody is listening to something, I usually just look it up right away and give it a listen to, see what I think of it. And this particular singer is Sophie Ellis Bextor. And I found a song, and I liked what I heard so much that I went ahead and downloaded her album. And the song is Mixed Up World, and I absolutely love it. And one of my favorite lines in it is something to the effect of, when you feel like things are just too tough, remember you're a real tough girl. And I absolutely like that. I have been playing that in the car like a crazy woman. So anyway, I'm going to put a link. I'm pretty sure she has, I'm pretty sure I can find the song here on YouTube. So you can listen to that. And I have talked for 25 minutes. So everybody, thank you for all your lovely comments. I am so happy. I'm going to be relaxing and catching up on everybody's videos over the weekend. So have a great night and have a great weekend, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.